We've all seen the explosion of generative AI, right? But after that initial boom, there's a huge question hanging in the air. What's next? We've seen the first wave of productivity boosts, but a new report suggests we are on the edge of something much, much bigger, especially in healthcare and life sciences. So today, we're going to follow the money and the data to see where the real return on investment is going to come from in AI's next chapter.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at where we are right now with AI. Then, we'll introduce you to the AI agents that are really defining this next wave. After that, we'll dive into some very specific examples in both healthcare and life sciences, and we'll wrap it all up with a playbook for any leader who wants to stay ahead of the curve.
All right, let's get into it. The first chapter of generative AI, it's been a huge success, but the story's already starting to shift. Let's look at that initial boom and the first hints of what's coming our way.
There is absolutely no doubt that generative AI is delivering. I mean, look at this number. A whopping 73% of organizations in healthcare and life sciences are already seeing a return on their investment. For a technology this new, that is a massive thumbs up right out of the gate.
But if you look just a little bit closer, the data suggests that maybe the low-hanging fruit has been picked. Productivity improvements, while they're still really high, have dipped just a tiny bit. Now, this isn't a bad sign at all. It's actually a sign of maturity. The industry is moving from the quick, easy wins to tackling much more complex and, frankly, more valuable challenges.
And that, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question. If that first boom is starting to level off, where is the next big leap in value going to come from? Well, according to this research, the answer is a concept called AI agents.
This next wave of value is all about a fundamental change in what AI can do. It's moving from being a simple assistant that just answers our questions to an autonomous actor that actually performs tasks for us.
And this isn't some sci-fi future we're talking about. Almost half, 44% of all healthcare and life sciences organizations are already using these AI agents. The shift is literally happening right now.
So what in the world is an AI agent? Well, first, don't think of it as just a chatbot. Think of it more like a super specialized member of your team that you can delegate complex tasks to. You give it a specific role, like, say, clinical trial document analyst, you give it the context it needs, and you give it the tools to actually do the work. It can independently plan, reason, and execute all on its own. It's also really important to get that not all agents are the same. There's a whole maturity curve here. We all started at level 1 with simple stuff like basic chatbots. Level 2 is where things get interesting, with what we call agentic workflows. Think of a single agent handling an entire customer service process. But the real destination, the game changer, is level 3, multi-agent systems that act like a whole digital team, managing incredibly complex processes for you.
Okay, so let's get specific. How is this actually playing out in the real world? First up, let's take a look at healthcare. So where are healthcare organizations dipping their toes in the water? As you can see, the most popular uses are in these really high-volume foundational areas. Tech support is leading the pack. Just over half of organizations are using it there. That's followed pretty closely by productivity tools and security. And that makes sense, right? These are smart, practical places to start that build confidence in the tech.
But popularity is not the whole story. When we pivot and look at the highest return on investment, the picture changes in a really interesting way. Tech support is still up there, but look what joins it at the very top. Patient experience. Now, this is a critical insight. It shows that while organizations are starting with internal tools, the biggest value is found when these agents are used in core patient-facing roles. And seeing inventory management on this list just proves how much of an impact they can have on critical hospital operations too. And the experts in the field, they completely agree. Zafar Chaudhry of Seattle Children's Hospital pinpoints patient support as the next big frontier. Imagine a personal AI assistant that helps patients navigate our incredibly complex healthcare system. This just highlights that shift from back-office efficiency to making a direct impact on patient care.
Now let's switch gears and look at the other side of the coin, the life sciences industry. Here, the name of the game is accelerating innovation.
In life sciences, the focus is all about speed and efficiency, especially when you need to protect those massive R&D budgets. So it's really no surprise that the most popular uses are in marketing and tech support, which are tied. These are functions that directly help streamline operations and get products to market faster.
And just like we saw in healthcare, the ROI picture is where you see the real strategy. Marketing is still strong, yeah, but the use case that delivers the highest return is product innovation and design. And right behind it is automated document processing. I mean, for an industry that is drowning in clinical trial paperwork and regulatory forms, automating that bottleneck, it isn't just an efficiency gain. It's a massive accelerator for getting new treatments to the people who need them faster.
As Christina Nitulescu from Bayer points out so well, it's not just about the size of the return, it's about the speed of the return. The key is to find where AI can generate value first. That's what creates the momentum and the funding for all the more ambitious projects down the line.
So, with this new agentic world arriving, how should leaders prepare? Let's pull the focus back out to the strategic level and put together a playbook. This new potential is actively reshaping business priorities. While efficiency and productivity are, of course, still the top goals, look at what's now a very close third: greater AI agent deployment. At nearly 40%, deploying agents is no longer just some IT project. It has become a C-suite strategic imperative.
Of course, this all comes with some very real challenges. And the number one concern for leaders when they're choosing the technology to build on is crystal clear: data privacy and security. In a world of sensitive patient data and priceless intellectual property, trust is absolutely non-negotiable.
So what's the playbook? It's 3 simple things. First, get executive sponsorship. This has to be seen as a business transformation, not just an IT project. Second, focus on those high ROI wins, like patient experience or document processing, to build momentum and fund what comes next. And third, build trust and talent at the same time. You have to establish clear AI governance rules from day one, and you have to invest in upskilling your people to lead this new way of working.
The data is pretty clear. AI agents are moving from being a cool concept to a core part of the workforce. They're not just assistants anymore. They're becoming autonomous colleagues, designed to take on some of our most complex tasks. So the final question really isn't if this is happening, it's are you ready for it?